I'm sure you've seen this ad floating around in Facebook. So they advertise an exhaust for as low as $15,999. So I got curious, so I ordered one. And this is what they sent me. But this is, by the way, this is not $15,999. This is $17,999. Didn't bother to ask what the $15,999 was. Maybe it's for a Wigo or something. I don't know. But for an Innova, it's 18,000 bucks, and this is what we get from CRL Performance. Well, off the bat, they're not lying. It is a full exhaust. So there's the downpipe, there's the mid pipe, that's also part of the mid pipe, and then the rear pipe. So this whole thing actually looks like this. So it starts from there, goes here, like that, like that, and then this bit goes here at the back, like that. Well, it took them long enough. I ordered this last December. It only arrived now, so 1.5 months. Off the bat, what I can see is, number one, the pipe is 2.5 inches, which is it's the wrong size, because it's your stock pipe on your Innova and your Fortuner is already 2.5 inches. So changing it to something of the same size does not give you more power. And from the looks of it, the thing has no muffler. Nada, nothing, no muffler. Well, you can actually have an exhaust without a muffler, that is true. So it is a full exhaust for 18,000 bucks. No muffler, you get a generic tip, which is, and they just welded their name on it. I'm sure this is gonna be hell loud also. But what I'm more curious about is, does it make power? And what do you get for your 18,000 bucks aside from making your car louder? And this is why we're here, to test it on this Innova. We'll put it on the dyno, we'll do a baseline, we'll install this one, then we'll baseline it again. Then afterwards, which you can skip to the part where we actually have the results, which is a few minutes away, but I can tell you right now, this thing will make absolutely no power whatsoever additional. Then after that, I'll show you what a real correct performance 3-inch exhaust is and how much power it makes. Okay, aside from power, right now noise is a concern for everybody, especially with the MVIS. Yes, it's on hold as of now, but that will push through in the next few years. Too much money has been spent already by too many people for it just to get scrapped by the government. And if you read through the protocols and the testing that's being done, it actually makes a lot of sense, so we're not against that. And one of the things that they test is actually exhaust noise. So it's measured in decibels. We have a decibel meter here. And according to the rules is that you need to, for you to pass, it has to be a maximum of 99 decibels, measured at half a meter away with the decibel meter at 45 degrees from the tip of the exhaust, which is this one. So to pass, it has to go below 95 decibels at 2,500 RPM. Okay, rev muna 2.5. Okay. So as you can see, at 2.5 and stock, it's 84, 85 decibels. So, okay, great. Obviously, it's stock, it will pass. Then we'll do the dyno later. We'll do the same test with the decibel meter on the CRL exhaust, and then we'll do the same test also with our Borla exhaust. Alright, so this is our Innova baseline, and we did 2 runs and we get the average of both runs, so we're at 86 and 88. Heck, let's split the difference, let's call it 87 wheel horses. So this is what our Innova makes right now. And this is just about right for this generation of Innova. This is a 2010, so yes, they're only that much powerful. They're not underpowered, they're not anything, but it's less than 100 horses, so that's pretty much it. And this obviously with the stock exhaust and everything. So we're gonna take it out of the dyno now. We're gonna put it on our lifter, remove the exhaust, put in the CRL exhaust, put it back on the dyno and see how much it makes. So let's go. Okay, off the bat, upon inspecting this, we find a few problems. Well, number one, we tried to install it and it didn't want to fit properly because this hole is too small. So yeah, we had to kikil it to make it bigger so it will fit properly in the flange. And then this one here tells me this is a shortcut way of doing it. From the outside, it looks like this whole thing should be hollow, but no, there's a cut here. That's not good for exhaust flow actually because this part's getting blocked. If you look at the stock one, it's not like that. The stock is actually a bell shape that doesn't have this lip right here. Oh, incidentally, we do have our downpipe here. And if you just compare that, it doesn't take a genius to see which one has better flow. So it's starting to look like you really get what you pay for. Okay, install it and see what happens. Oh, by the way, our exhaust did not come with any nuts and bolts, so we had to buy some ourselves. These are easy. This is not a big deal. It's relatively easy to buy from the hardware anyway. And normally when we do install exhaust, we actually put a gasket here in the middle to actually seal it. But since we're going to be removing this later, so no point in it. Okay, there you go. So once the rear section is bolted on with the hanger, so there's enough clearance here. So at least that's good. So there's enough clearance here. Fingers worth. That's good. And the rest of it goes on pretty easy, which it actually should. The only issue a while ago was with the downpipe. Okay. Well, apparently, yeah. Nakadikit. Well, our exhaust tip is right next to the bumper. That's not good. Well, then again, there's different variants of the Innova, so we can forgive that somewhat. I think there's an Innova variant that has a bumper cut here, I'm not too sure, but our Innova sure doesn't. So this one will require modification for this to sit here, because if this does not go down and this is there nakadikit sa bumper, this bumper will melt off eventually. Anyway, we're here to test how much power it makes. So, okay, bring it down. Back on the dyno. Well, oh damn, that's loud. Well, obviously it doesn't have a muffler. Let's do the decibel test. All right, same as before. Same as before, half a meter, 45 degrees. Rev. Alright, tama na. This is definitely a fail. At idle, it's already 96 decibels, 98, 95. Obviously, when you rev it, it's over 100. Even me talking loud cannot overshadow the sound of this exhaust. So this thing's a definite fail. Let's put it on the dyno. If you're wondering why there's a piece of wood here, because if we're gonna run it on the dyno, this tip is going to get pretty hot, and I don't want it melting the bumper of this Innova. So that's the only reason why it's there. So some of you say there, nakakalang naman pala and all of that. No, it's to prevent this from melting it. Then afterwards, we'll take it all out. Well, dyno run's done, and then congratulations, we get a grand total of 1 horsepower. There you go. So we went from 88.63 to 89 horses. Congratulations. For your 18,500 pesos, you get 1 horsepower. And sure ball failure at the MVIS. Well, you know the old saying, you get what you pay for. And in this case, you get absolutely nothing. 0. Nagsayang ka lang ng pera. Baksak pa sa testing. For 18,000 pesos, basically you just take your 18,000 pesos, throw away in the trash can. You got a lot more noise with no power increase. If that's not the meaning of stupidity, I don't know what is. So anyway, we're removing from the dyno. We'll put our 3-inch Borla exhaust. We'll put it back on the dyno again. And then you will see what real power looks like. So now here we compare what a correctly made performance downpipe and exhaust is compared to one that you get for 18,000 bucks. And I'll explain to you why it's a lot more expensive. And yeah, well, first and foremost, this is 2.5 inch. This is the same size as stock. So if you change the pipe with something that's the same size, how in the world are you supposed to make power? It's like having a road and making the same road in the same width, in the same amount of traffic. It's not going to improve. You have to make the road wider. So this 2.5 inch, what we have ours is a full 3-inch here, right here. And then if you notice a small detail here, we have the flexible pipe here before the joint. It's not that absolute big deal, but what you want to happen is the reason for this thing is to isolate the immediate vibration from the engine. Now the reason why we have it here is to isolate the vibration from the joint on the screws here. That's what you want. So there's almost no chance for the screw to get loose, but anyway, that's what it is. You want the flexible pipe before your joint here, not after here, because most of the vibration is here in the front, not at the back. So we're continuing with 3 inches all the way from here. This is where the turbo installs, all the way there to the mid pipe. And then once we install, we'll have a 3-inch muffler also, and it'll be 3 inches all the way up to the tip itself. And as I shown you guys earlier a while ago, the difference between this and that, you don't need to graduate elementary to know which one is less restrictive and which one flows better. It's any 6-year-old kid can see it, and if you can't see it, then you're an idiot as well. Should be pointing that way too. It should be right there, over there. There we go. So we're gonna be installing this right now in our Innova, and then again we'll put it back on the dyno. I'm getting tired of saying it, but yes, we'll put it back on the dyno and test it and see how much power it makes. Oh, by the way, this is all being done in 1 day. Not even 1 day, it's only a few hours. We started around 2:30, it's now 3:41. So just for you to know that it's not cut, the video's not cut, it's the same day thing. It's not 1 day after the other where the conditions are different, because when you are doing testing on performance parts, you want to keep all the variables to a minimum. So ideally, same car, same day, same temperature, same everything, with the only variable being the parts that you are changing. All right, our Borla exhaust is installed, and then same thing. So half meter, 45 degrees. At idle, it's, well, if I talk, obviously it will get louder. Sige, Reb. So at 2,500, it's 91, 92 decibels. And I even moved it closer to make it louder. So it's a definite pass in MVIS. Unlike the other one. So now we'll see how much power we make. Again, no tuning, as in the only thing we did was exhaust, nothing else. And we have the results from both. Actually, we tested the CRL exhaust and we tested our own Borla exhaust, and as you can see, the results are quite dramatically different, that is. So to recap, green line here, this is stock, this is CRL exhaust, there's a 1 horsepower gain here, this is our exhaust. So if you compare these 2 points from stock, this is 6 horses. And this is 6 horses, that's 6 horses, that's 6, that's about 5 horses here at the bottom. If you can notice also, CRL's exhaust has absolutely zero gain until 2,800 RPM. Most of you don't even reach that high. With the number of people I interviewed here in the shop, what's the highest RPM you guys reached? 2.5? Malakas agas eh. So in short, if you put their exhaust on and then you don't even reach 2.8 or 3,000, you gain zero power. I said literally, it's zero. You just made your car more noisier. But our exhaust, as you can see, has gain already from the get-go. That's the big difference between something that's correctly done, engineered, and developed on the dyno, as opposed to some shop that just knows how to hire a bunch of people who knows how to weld a bunch of pipes. Well, again, you get what you pay for. $79.99 gets you 1 horsepower. I don't know about you, but everybody around the world will pretty sure say that that is definitely not worth it.